evening, folks. Welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for qualifying for the Uncharted guys here in what will be Food Lion 500 weekend here at CMS. We're about to send them off of the pit road here, the 11 Uncharted cars. Of course, here, the week after the All-Star race, some of these guys actually advanced to the All-Star race, albeit it was supposed to be here at Charlotte, but it didn't end up being here at Charlotte. It ended up being moved to Atlanta Motor Speedway, another 1.5 mile track, though, so we could see the experience from that kick into this, although it's a very different 1.5 mile racing-wise, of course, but we saw the 91, Joshua Harrison in particular. He actually raced his way into the All-Star race, so he could be a favorite to make it into the Food Lion 500. We'll have to see what the end of qualifying looks like. But the 57 is Eric Olson this week. 50 is Logan Alexander. 7 is Reagan Whitlock. The 99 is Madison Toll. The 80 is Keith Kent. The 31 is Max Anderson. The 31 is Vic Merlin, actually. And the 09 is Dale Lightning. 41 is Aiden Macro. 54 is Justin Zidell. 26 is Riley Snare. Alright, so we're about to see the first lap time. It's Boston Jones for 29.455. And as you notice, it is a shorter session for the Uncharted guys, down to just 5 minutes long. And from 10, so we've gone from 15 each to 10, and now down to 5 for the Uncharted guys. Then we'll bump it up to 10 for the full field. Now we have 3 cars that have already run laps, waiting for the rest of them to come around here. And I believe everybody is coming off the pit road now as the 99 of Madison Toll, defending Scott's National Series winner there in the Pizza Ranch 250 at Iowa Speedway last week. She's coming in that NS Racing Uncharted number 99. Boston Jones on the top of the board right now. Joshua Harrison in second. Only 4 cars have run a lap, though. That is important to note. We'll see what the rest of them look like, the other 7, when they come across the lines here. Alexander did not beat a time, nor did Dale Lightning. But Keith Kent, on the other hand, moved up into second momentarily. Harrison to the top of the board now, with Eric Olson in the 57. Right there behind him. And now it changes again. Now everybody except the 99 of Madison Toll has run a lap, but Toll's coming around this time by, and we'll see what the lap looks like. 6th overall right now, as the 41 goes to the top of the board. 41 car is Aiden Macro. Now Eric Olson back to the top of the board there, knocking Joshua Harrison out with less than a minute to go. Of course, we may have a couple resets here, of course. But now it's Macro back on the top of the board. Toll goes to second. The first 2 to crack 28s. And I believe we are going to have a couple of resets here for the final bit of this session. I do not believe it is quite over yet. We'll have to see how things play out here, as Whitlock and Toll are going to go side by side. Whitlock is 8th overall on the board right now, and Toll is second to Aiden Macro right now. There's Macro in the 41 as we get a reset for 28 seconds. Harrison could be someone that could make it back into the show He's their 3rd overall. He's in the draft of Keith Kent, if he can utilize that. He may not have enough time to get back around, though. We may have one more reset, but we'll see if they can make it back around. 29 seconds. That is all that remains here at Uncharted qualifying. Looks like it's going to be Macro and Tall advancing unless something changes here. As the final seconds tick down, doesn't look like it's going to happen for anyone else except Aiden Macro and Madison Tall advancing to the main event qualifying session for the Food Lion 500. Joshua Harrison, Keith Kent, Eric Olson, Vic Merlin, Logan Alexander, Reagan Whitlock, Dale Lightning, Riley Snare, and Justin Zeidel not making it into this race, but best of luck to them next week, as potentially with the way the Scots National Series plays out later on tonight. We'll have to see if they can make it into the show or not. But that's going to do it for Uncharted qualifying. Let's head to full field qualifying. Alright, here we are for full field qualifying for the Food Lion 500. Field loading in here at Charlotte. And we'll get them rolling here for 10 minutes or so. As looks like Sebastian Kukulon going to be the first to come out onto the track in car number 82. Was not able to race his way in for the Dr. Pepper Cherry All-Star Open at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but I feel like he's been on the up and up, considering, you know, mentioned it before, the absolutely atrocious season he had last year here in the Cabela's Cup Series. Last season, I should say, since we had 2 seasons last year, technically speaking. But here, coming into this weekend, Sebastian Kukulon, look up his points position here. He is 12th in the standings right now. And his teammate, Samet Ozgen, is 8th in the standings now. So, Trinity River Racing having an alright season, I guess, but couldn't compare to the season that this man is having, and he doesn't even have a race win. Will freaking Parrish has led the points for so long now here in Season 3. He doesn't show any signs of giving it up. Not that he wants to. Not that he would actually, you know, purposefully give it up or anything, but good grief. What a season he and Ruby Motorsports are having here in the Cabela's Cup Series. As I was talking about Kukulon before, he moves into the provisional pole position with a 28.932 as we see more cars coming around to run their first real lap time, I'll say. Sebastian Kukulon side by side with defending champion Kanan Beller there. Nothing going to improve the time there. Ben Young coming out onto the track in car number 2. Steven Colonna, the 98, coming out behind him. And Ethan Lewis for Team Velocistar to the top of the board now with a 28.873. Fantastic lap time for that Velocistar driver. Velocistar this season, I mean, they've had the 3 wins with Benny Watson. Other drivers haven't been doing bad. I mean, Andrew Miller, I would say especially, has been on the up and up. And even though it was a non-points race, he won the All-Star Open down at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Miller comes in 35th in the standings, but he gained 3 positions after the tremendous run he had at Dover. Ethan Lewis Definitely the lowest of the Velocity cars in the standings. He's 40th in the points right now. Daisy Johnson is 23rd. So it is not at all a stretch of the imagination to say that Benny Watson is flying the banner high for Velocity almost single-handedly, but let's not get the other ones. Let's not knock the others out of the conversation just yet. We'll see if they can turn it around. Madison Toll, uncharted driver, to the top of the board in car number 99 with a 28.782. We have not had an uncharted driver win here this season in the Cabela's Cup Series. And starting up towards the front may not be a bad thing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, unlike it was at Atlanta for the All-Star race. Well, it seemed like it was worse to start up front than it was to start in the back, because Charlie came from the back and ended up winning that thing. Charlie as in Charlie Davenport. There he is. There's your All-Star race winner. There in car number 19. Side by side with another Dodge right there. That's Owen Miles, who pulled something that I would think would be flat out impossible. Blows the engine in the qualifying for the Open, and then comes into the Open and races his way in. Not only that, move on to All-Star race qualifying. He qualified second. And I cannot remember off the top of my head where he actually finished in the All-Star race. I don't think it was particularly good. But that's just a random thing I wanted to point out. Blew the engine in qualifying for the Open, raced his way in through the Open, and then qualified second of the overall 20 for the All-Star race. I just found that incredible. Three minutes 50 seconds to go here in the Food Lion 500 qualifying session. It's Toll, Lewis, Silver Point, Davenport, Macro, Crouch, Parrish, Crawford, Stover, Miles. That is the top 10 right now here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Another guy, let me go ahead, since I just mentioned him, Ben Crouch in the 74. He started off the season rather poorly, to be honest, but has been slowly turning it around little by little. It was capped off with a win at Texas Motor Speedway in the HEB 500 a few weeks ago. Had a solid run in the All-Star race. Didn't win it, obviously, but had a solid run. Now here we come to Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is a track that operates a lot like Texas Motor Speedway. At least the version we used anyways. Narrower turns, 24 degrees of banking. Kind of multiple grooves here. But I think, well, I mean, we'll have to see how where Ben qualifies, but he could be a favorite coming into this one. We'll just have to see how things work out for him. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here. Of course, we're going to get a couple resets right at the end of this, so maybe extend it another minute after that. Let's take a look at your Dover winner, Benny Watson, one more time. 20th on the board right now in car 53. I don't think that's a terrible spot to be starting in, except for the fact that he is starting on the outside of row 10, so he very well could fall deep in the field very early on in this race and potentially have his opportunity to be in contention for a 4th victory here in the Cabela's Cup Series early on in the season. That would be phenomenal, and I do think he is on a kind of track where he could. Let's see, we're 13 races through the 32 race season. So, percentage-wise, that's going to put us at 40.63% through the season. So ideally, since he has 3 wins already this season, if he keeps up this rate, I'm pretty sure we could be looking at a 7-win season. So, I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes through the final 19 races, but if he did pull that off, that would be absolutely incredible. Is it something that I think is going to happen? No. But, never doubt it. Never underestimate the parity that NR could have, the unpredictability that NR has. Because the most wins we've had, well, granted, Season 1 was 17 races. Season 2 was 20 races. The most wins we had in Season 2, or Season 1, I should say, was actually the only repeat win of the season. It was Ryan Benjamin. He had 2 wins. In Season 2, there were multiple 2-time winners. Multiple multi-time winners, I should say. The most notable one was obviously the champion Kanan Biller, as Madison Toll is looking like she's going to end up with a pole position. With a winner, the driver who had the most wins last season was Nick Kennedy. He had 3 in the first 12 races, similar to Benny Watson's 3 and 13. As the clock ticks down, that's going to do it for qualifying. And Madison Toll, uncharted driver, is on the pole for the Food Lion 500 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ethan Lewis, Kip Silverpoint, Charlie Davenport, Aiden Macro, Ben Crouch, Will Parrish, Brad Crawford, Daisy Johnson, and Brad Stover round out the top 10 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Take a look at the rest there. The last place qualifier is Roy Rebleton in the 81, and maybe that's a blessing in disguise for the field because he's had more spin-outs than I've had hot dinners in the last month, so we'll have to see how this race goes. I think it's going to be a phenomenal race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But yeah, that's going to do it for qualifying. Hope everyone's ready for another fantastic weekend here in the NOFSRL. Hope y'all are excited and pumped because it's going to be fun. That'll do it for qualifying here. We'll see y'all later on. Until then, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good night.